Is Wrath of the Lich King Classic friendly for casual players? I would say no, because it's so grindy. It takes me 1 hour from purely questing without doing anything else to gain half a level. That means I take 2 hours for 1 level from just questing and doing nothing else. That's very grindy in my opinion. But yeah, let's see what Scottejaye has to say about that.
A really common question as of late has been, is it worth playing Wrath of the Lich King as a casual? Let me define casual. This would be someone who may rarely raid, probably most in pugs when they do. They have limited time to play the game due to all that adult stuff people need to do, but still want to enjoy the game and all the content that it has to offer. We get really caught up, and by we, I really mean me, on all the min-maxing, creating content under the assumption you have as much time to play the game as a streamer, or someone who has so much money in the bank they never need to work another day in their life, and it's just wrong. There is loads of you guys and girls that play the game, play with a bunch of friends you love playing with, and probably have more fun with less progress, less gear, and probably couldn't care less what your profile on Warcraft logs show. While I was thinking about this video, it really has made me think so much about my own personal enjoyment of the game. I'm someone who can make a lot of time to play if I want to do that. I do enjoy endgame content, especially in Wrath, and actually being competitive on the meters is something that gets me to log on every day. But just playing like that also completely ruins so many other aspects of the game. Spending every hour in GDKP runs or farming gold for raids or gearing up ults for split runs to maximise the amount of loot your main raiders are going to get. It's all just so time consuming that what happened to just having fun? Getting a few friends together and going around doing world PvP, getting the beers in and leveling a few low level characters in dungeons together without actually getting boosted, or even worse, buying a boosted character from Blizzard. Some of the most fun I've had in Classic was actually during the hype period of the Hardcore Challenge and doing it in duos, because you're not in a rush. Actually, the game just feels, dare I say it, better. After that being the world's longest intro with absolutely no information about what you're even here for, let's get to the point. Can you...
The thing is also, like, that's how I feel with games in general. If you have like a certain goal in a game, but you have so many obstacles, like you first must do this, then you must do that and stuff, it's a really turn off. Like, there's no more this kind of excitement and enjoyment while playing sometimes, when you know you have to do so many chores and stuff to get somewhere. Like, for me, for example, and that's the way it is in World of Warcraft, I've accepted this. Like, you only get like raid drops and stuff every once a week, right? So I know that I can only do a certain raid 1 time a week with my character, unless I have like another character, then it's different. I have like alts, and on Monday I do this character, on Wednesday this one, Friday this one, no problem. But what if I have like a week more time than the other week, and I really want to gear up? My goal is like, hey, I want in 3 weeks to get into like end game, like let's say raiding or PvP or something. And then, like, I have to do this, I have to do that, now I must wait for 1 week, and then I realize, oh shit, I still need a legendary, so I need to do Thorghast, for example, in retail, then I have to do this and that, and this is actually so annoying. But the good thing is, once you've reached the end game, the true end game, same with like Wrath of the Lich King Classic, everything is more chill. Like, if you're fully geared, you just log on for fun, basically. Like, oh, now I want to do some battlegrounds, let's do some PvP. Or hey, I already have all the gear and stuff, but I have some friends that still need some gear. And wait a second, I'm still missing a good belt. So you know what? Let's do this raid, this one, and I hope I get like my last gear piece that I'm missing or something. Like, then you don't have this kind of rush, because you know you're just missing a little bit, right? But if you know you're missing a lot and you have to grind for that for like months or something to get it, because in Wrath of the Lich King it is actually way longer to gear up than in retail. Like, it needs several months to max out for a lot of players. It also depends on your luck. If you're doing like raids, are you getting the tier set pieces or not? Is your friend getting it first? Like, there's a lot of RNG also, right? So yeah, you have to be really patient. That's why I would say it's not so casual friendly.
Absolutely no information about what you're even here for. Let's get to the point. Can you play casually in Wrath, and how much content is there for you? Well, I would say yes. If you just want the answer so you can leave, you can absolutely play it casually, and I would argue so far throughout Classic, it's going to be the most casual-friendly expansion so far, with absolutely no barrier to entry to 5-man heroics once you're level 80, and if you just chilled questing all the way, you'll likely already have the reputations all at friendly, so you can buy the tabards to further increase your reputation with whichever faction you choose to wear the tabard for first. You really can just jump in a group for an hour to get a couple of heroics done, and feel like you've made some progress. Without trying to turn this into an "oh my god, Blizzard are wrong, put random dungeon finder in" video, that is the biggest kick in the teeth for the casual player actually, and you yourself as someone with limited time or just can't be bothered taking the game too seriously may initially think they don't want random dungeon finder, but unfortunately it really does save so much time, and when you're limited on that, being able to be queued while you're doing a little bit of something else at the same time really would have been convenient. When it came to TBC, you could have even called me a casual, and I'd done a severe lack of 5-man heroics because I really couldn't be bothered looking at LFG bulletin board or a chat box all day to do a heroic. If I could have just queued and walked off and done something else and just waited for a dungeon queue to pop, I would have probably actually spent a lot more time in heroics throughout TBC.
Yeah, because you don't have to focus on that. You get a notification on your screen, hey, a group is ready, please accept. That's how it is in retail, right? So that's like some people saying, oh, if you're using actually Group Finder, it kills the social aspect of the game. Like guilds become less important because now you don't even need to be in a guild. You can use freaking Group Finder, right? And yeah, you don't even communicate and make circles of friends that always want to do raids or PvP with you. Now you can do everything with just one tool that is in the game. But yeah, at the same time, what are you doing in the spare time? Like the thing is, if you're doing this with just looking for group chat, like what are you doing in the meantime? Because your eyes have to be constantly on the chat and you have to be focused on that. So let's say you're doing some quests and the chat is moving pretty fast if many people are online. So let's say you're doing some quests or farming some reputation or something. You're sometimes reading the dialogue of NPCs and you're not looking at chat. And maybe you're even missing someone that actually says they have a group or something, right? So you basically have to be sort of AFK in-game and look for like many minutes, even hours at the chat, and you can't do anything in between because you could be distracted, you could miss this in chat. It is annoying. That's why I see like why a lot of people prefer Group Finder. And by the way guys, if you're new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And yeah, how do you feel about Group Finder? Let me know in the comment section. I think it's a good thing. I love this because it saves me a lot of time and I can do other stuff like farm for something or materials with my crafting profession or something. So yeah, I think that's really good.
Stop talking about random dungeon finder. So when you're doing these 5-man heroics, you're going to be getting 200 eye level gear and you're also going to get emblems to spend. So while your gear won't be mega optimized, just doing 5-man heroics as your primary source of gear, getting your reputations to exalted to buy some epics as well, and even some casual PvP to fill in other bits with honor gear, you'll still keep feeling that power of your character going up with each upgrade you get. Now, there's really two ways of looking at this. So let's look at the first example where you never want to raid. You literally have zero interest in joining a guild to raid with or pug. Actually, in the grand scheme of things, raiding is and should be a small portion of your playtime because there is so much more to do, both for PvP players and PvE players. The achievement system opens so many doors that sure, you'll never be able to get 100% achievements because there are a lot from raids, but you can do so many of them solo, such as Lawmaster, PvP achievements where, okay, you're not solo, but you can queue solo, reputation achievements, collecting mounts and pets, and so much more. You might really enjoy leveling, and I'll tell you right now, there's nothing more enjoyable than leveling a character with heirlooms that are fully enchanted up because it makes you feel like you've got God mode on. So farm.
Oh, that's one of my new goals I have. Also for Classic, I want to get as many pets as I can. And in retail, I want to actually level them up. Like my highest battle pet is level 5 in retail. That's so embarrassing, right? Like I've barely done any pet battles, but I will also focus on this more. Like when I'm waiting for like weekly vault or something, I will just go on my character and do pet battles and stuff. And I will farm for a lot of pets. A lot of toys. There's still many toys I need to collect.
Farming all the heirlooms, just doing 5-mans and slowly building an army of alts, that's another option. On the other side of this, you might not be against raiding, but your playtimes are so sporadic that you just can't commit to a guild to raid with because you can't be sure you're always going to be there when they need you. Well, great news. There is lots of content that's pug friendly. Doing Vault of Archivon every week on both 10 and 25 man, which there'll always be tons of pugs going for all the time, around the clock. All 10 man raids when you're not trying to push hard modes in Alduar or Heroic Trial of the Crusader or even ICC Heroic are puggable comfortably. So you can jump in any of those. It will of course help to keep your gear up to date as well, which will be important because remember, people will still expect you to be in reasonable gear to invite you to one of these pugs. But that being said, with each new tier of content comes an extra VOA boss, comes better badge gear, and in some cases even heroic dungeons with higher item levels, such as Trial of the Champion or even the Ice Crown 5-mans that come when ICC launches. There is simply ways to get gear without feeling the pressure to go and do hard mode 25-man raiding content or even 25-man raiding content at all, because with each phase comes better items that are also easy to obtain. This is going to shock you, but I truly believe you could play the entirety of Wrath of the Lich King and enjoy every minute of being online just by being a professions guy. What I mean by this is getting multiple characters to level 80, getting all your professions on them and just making gold. Now you're probably thinking, well, what's the point of the gold if I ain't getting gear? Well, it's another way of gearing. Some really powerful items can just be bought with gold. Think true. Dark Moon card greatness. The crafted gear from Ulduar, TOC and ICC when they eventually come out. World drop epics or BOE epics from raids, which some of them are absolutely bonkers.
Like, the thing is, this makes it easier also to get even a group for like raiding and stuff. So if you're like completely undergeared and you're like having issues finding groups, if you do this method, like you said, you're doing like your crafting and stuff, you're farming out of materials, and you're crafting stuff and selling it, you're selling some raw materials and stuff. Like, if you buy some basic gear like that, it doesn't even need to be the strongest gear that is in the game, because it's definitely not. But you can have like a pretty good item level. It's very, very powerful. And then you can easier get into like the raids and stuff. Because like a lot of people will want to invite you because they see you have the stats that are needed to clear this, right? So yeah, if you have issues finding groups and you're not so patient, this is another way of gearing. Just freaking listen to some music or something. If you have a second screen, watch some freaking Netflix or so while you're leveling up your professions and you're farming mats and stuff. Like, that's another way to max in this game.
Like the ring from Malagos 10, for example. Yeah. This ring drops on 10-man, it's only a normal mode boss, and this ring is BOE. And it's pretty much BIS Phase 1 for most people that can make use of it. Mixing in some items that you've bought with some 5-man heroic gear and badge gear could literally carry you through the entire expansion. And honestly, the professions in the game are a game in their self. Mining and herbalism on one of your characters to then sit and mill all your herbs to try and make Dark Moon cards and get lucky, and sending all your ore that you've got to your JC to prospect and see if you can make some decent profit there, using the green gems to then cut some rings and necks to DE on your enchanter to get mats and enchant your alts and whatnot. It's got some serious legs, and if you aren't playing massive amounts of hours a week, you wouldn't tire of this particularly quick. Then one that isn't everyone's cup of tea, but dailies. There's dailies in Sholazar Basin where you could eventually work towards hoping you hatch a mount from an egg. Wow, dailies with the Kalawak where you can get an epic fishing pole. Going back to the profession talk, even profession dailies like JC daily, fishing daily, cooking daily. Just so much content. If PvP is your thing, there's even PvP dailies. I need to do this with the X because I want the green Proto Drake. It's one of my favorite ones by look. I really love the green one. Like, the Timeless Proto Drake is nice and stuff. I will see if I can get it too. But the green one, I really like the way it looks. Yeah, I need to get those eggs. In Grizzly Hills. Later, when Trial of the Crusader releases, you'll be spending a lot of time at the Argent Tournament grounds riding your horse around jousting for rewards, doing a daily quest in Storm Peaks every day trying to get a polar bear mount. There will be loads I haven't even mentioned, but it's just all content to consume and enjoy, which don't need you to raid. The last one isn't even a fact about content, it's more a piece of advice. Find like-minded people. Get in a guild where they don't aspire to be world number one. They're happy just having fun with people who want to do the same content as them. You have less pressure. It's an MMO. The experience will still be better if you share that experience with other people. Everyone knows I'm WoW's most unsociable player in game because I'm fortunate to have at least 3 viewers watching me at all times on Twitch. And they're talking to me. So that's who I share my experiences with. Nice. But just don't go it alone. It will make getting in 5-mans quicker. You'll be doing the content with people who have the same mindset, and ultimately it'll end up being a lot more of an enjoyable experience than getting in with sweaty hardcore players in full BIS raid. And I think it's not even like the number of people, like you said, or if you're streaming and you have like 3 viewers or something. I think it's the quality of the people and the interaction you have with those. Like, sometimes it's better to have 10 people in your guild or friends in game that you are like really close or cool with than to have like a list of 30-40 plus and you're like very distant to everyone. You barely do any group content together. Like, I remember like back in the day, like when my friend was like playing out of World of Warcraft and he would sometimes let me play on his account.
like he had some like he had, like was like 4 or 5 friends that he was like super close to, and they would sometimes group up for like PvP and stuff. Like, hey, let's do some battlegrounds together and stuff. Like I thought this was like so cool and so chill. Even though we were like not so many people, like only those like 4 people he usually chats, and like a fifth one came later. But it was cool to see that they sometimes make like small groups and stuff, and they would maybe even invite sometimes randoms for stuff like dungeons. And what I've noticed about them is they were very social. So if you played on like a certain class and they knew you need this kind of item, they would not take it from you. Because what I see sometimes with like random people, they take items or they roll for those that they actually don't really need. Or some even have like freaking duplicates. Like I once saw someone roll for an item they already have, and a person lost that item. Can you imagine that? That's crazy. Like seriously, this is why I love when like friends or people play together and they have like some sort of respect for each other. I think respect is important.
Experience than getting in with sweaty hardcore players in full BIS raid gear wanting to kick you because you've done 10 DPS less than what a sim said you should be doing. Now, I know this was a strange video coming from me, but I do try to cater to everyone. Ultimately, I want everyone to enjoy the game in the way they enjoy the game, and I think even I've lost my way over the years. And I'm wanting Raf to even bring out my inner casual, so I can join you guys in the Goldshire Inn using the Texas Hold'em add-on for some naughty gambling sessions.
Holy
that was
shit.
actually something that I used to do a lot of back in original Raf.
Really?
After a raid, we'd sit and play poker all night.
That's
I do
cool.
miss those days. Instead, nowadays, what I'll do is just fly around farming herbs to be able to get 200 potions of speed to use in my raids all week. Be sure to like, subscribe.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
if you enjoyed the video, like. If you didn't enjoy it, just leave. Go now. Get out. But subscribe before you go, just in case I do a video that you will like. And roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes. Everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name. And you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. And
You know what? Let me subscribe. And thumbs up. That was a good video, very informative. And yeah, like the thing is, when it comes to like time, effort and stuff, that's why like some people like dislike retail, because they find it too easy to not only level a character, because like 1 hour you can actually get like multiple levels, unlike like Wrath of the Lich King where like 1-2 hours equals 1 level up. Like it's really that slow. Like if you hit level 70, I've noticed it. I did like the first, I've like almost finished the first area, or like half of it, and I'm not even level 71. I'm almost level 71, and I'm like, what the heck? I did like 20 plus quests and still not a level. Like what is going on? Like how many more quests should I do? Should I do like 50 quests for 1 level? It seems like it's very time consuming. And then when you reach end game, there's still like a lot of time behind, like doing, you have to do some dungeons and raids, and you start with like not of course the highest tier. You go like something that's like a bit easier, right? Then you get like some basic gear so you can do the more challenging stuff. It takes like several weeks until you have at least a few good gear pieces, right? What's like faster is if you're like doing this with the mess, like he said, and you're trying to see if someone was lucky and they are selling maybe some ring or something that you can buy, some gear pieces from like world bosses and stuff. Like that is also really good. That gives you like a good starting gear for like some of the raids. You're probably just like on a level for like normal, not for like heroic, but it's okay if you can get into like a normal raid, get the gear from there later, you just go up to like heroic. But it's already a good start in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think Wrath of the Lich King Classic is casual friendly. If someone came to me and said, hey, I want to play World of Warcraft, but I'm a guy that's like married with 2 kids, I have a 9+ hours a day full-time job, so what do you recommend? Should I play Classic or should I play Retail? I would honestly say you should play Retail because it's way faster. But if it's like a student that comes to me, for example, like just some college student, someone that's like younger, I would say go for Wrath of the Lich King Classic because it does feel more rewarding. Like if you're someone that likes the grind and then see some result, go for Wrath of the Lich King Classic if you have the spare time. But if you don't have time, you should go for Retail. That's like my opinion for new World of Warcraft players. But yeah guys, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give this one a thumbs up. I wish everyone a wonderful day. I will see you guys next time.